y'all, it's January. That means the Three Rivers Homestead January Pantry Challenge. It's hosted by Jessica at Three Rivers Homestead, and she has a wonderful channel. She has a large family, and she has one baby on the way. So I'm so excited for her, but I don't see how she does it all. I can barely get everything done with 3 little grandsons, and I've got a granddaughter on the way, so I'm excited. But I've got to get organized for the year, and I've got so much stuff. As you can see, I'm in my pantry, and I'm going to organize my pantry here, my canning pantry. I've got 2 freezers outside. I've got an upright and a chest freezer full. I've got a garage refrigerator that's full, and the freezer in the house is full. So I've got a lot of work to do. So I hope you'll enjoy these videos. I'm going to try and share with you some of the things that I do to save money. Love my food saver. If you don't have a food saver, you need to. It does way better than any Ziploc bag. The food lasts for about 3 years. So I'm going to share some of those videos, some tips and tricks. I'm going to do some canning videos this month. It's Canuary, so I'm going to share with you some recipes for canning that are really easy, and you can put on your shelf and takes no time to just grab a jar. And that way I can combine the canning pantry with the prepper pantry in my freezer and make some meals, and I'll share that with you. But for this week, I'm going to get everything organized, show you what I've got in all my freezers and my refrigerator and things like that, get everything cleaned out and organized. So I hope you will follow along. Let me know if you're joining the challenge or if you're just following along, or let me know if you have any tips or tricks that I can use during the month of the January Pantry Challenge. So I'll show you what I've got to work with this month. I'm going to start with the inside freezer. It doesn't have a lot in here, but it's just a bunch of random stuff. And then I'll go to the chest freezer. It's just got a bunch of random stuff in there too. I want to have some kind of organization here. I'm not going to mess with the stuff in the door yet, and I'm not going to do anything with this. This is just the inside of my outside freezer, and it's got a lot of vegetables in there that I've got to use up. So I'm going to concentrate on the inside freezer and the 2 outside. And I'm just going to take everything out of the freezers and see what I have, and then I will try to organize it. I'm going to take some bags that I got from Aldi and try and organize it all. And the top shelf is okay, but I got to clean this nasty freezer out. I don't even know what that black stuff was at the bottom of it, but I got a bunch of hash browns here that I made. I cut up some potatoes that I had, and I need to use those up. And I've got a lot of just random stuff that I'm going to try and use up all this stuff first, and if I can put it outside in the freezer and categorize it, then I'll do that. But I'm going to use up this, and then I'll move stuff from the outside freezers here. So that's my plan for right now. Some of the stuff the grandkids can eat, so that's why I'm leaving it in the kitchen. But I found this whipped topping had expired in 2022, so that's going away. But now I'm going to take everything out of the outside freezers and try and organize that. Like I said, I've got them in Aldi bags, but they just had a bunch of different stuff in there. So I'm going to try and get them in categories, like 1 bag with chicken breast, 1 bag with chicken thighs, and see if I can get everything in a category. That way, if I need something, I can take 1 bag out, and I'll know from the top of it what's in it, and then I can just put it back if I don't need it. But that's as good as I'm going to get it until I can get some of this stuff eaten up. So I'm going to go ahead and get all this organized, and then we'll go through it and put it back in there, and then I can go through my pantries and see what I have there. So let's go ahead and get this done. All right, y'all, we've arranged everything, and this is all we've got. Look how much food I've got to go through. Yeah. But we're going to do it. Are we going to do it? Are we going to eat all this stuff? Are you going to help me eat it? You're not?
I don't want to eat it.
Okay.
That's too much food.
Yeah, it is. All right, we're finally finished. I got some random cooked foods that I'm going to use up. I've got chicken breast, chicken thighs. I've got some pork here, pork chops. I've got some random broths and some vegetables. I got whole chickens, some of those roasts that have been in there for 3 years I need to use up. Some convenience foods. I've got ground beef, whole chickens. I've got some beef knuckles in there that I need to use up. I've got some beef ribs, some pork butts. I've got ground beef, some roast, some tomatoes from last year, chicken wings. I've got some beef in there and some beef liver. So I am so glad to get this done. So now I have to take it in the garage to see if I can find room to put all this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and take this in the garage and get it put up. And now my kitchen is somewhat clean anyway. You don't have all that stuff on the floor. So now I'm going to move to the chest freezer. We've got this pretty much organized. Doug had a deer. He killed a deer, so that's going in the freezer. So I'm glad we had some room in there. And this one is the upright freezer. I've got all the mostly chicken and some pork in here. So this is going to be a lot easier to get in and out of and a lot easier for me to find everything. So now we're going to move on to the pantry. All I've got is just some breakfast stuff here, some oatmeal, some grits and stuff like that. I've got Jello and just random things like some Velveeta. I've got a bunch of crackers from the holidays that I didn't get to and a bunch of stuff that the grandkids can eat. Pasta and rice. I've got a bunch of spices that I don't have room for in the kitchen. I've got some pizza crust. I love those ones from Walmart. You can make a pizza in no time. I've got some leftovers from the holidays like dried fruit and some candy melts. I've got all my vinegars down here that I use for canning. I've got some tomato juices. Got all my canned stuff here. I'm in the middle of writing all the dates on there, and after I get done with that, I'm going to inventory everything so I know what I have. I've got mayonnaise and peanut butters and salad dressings, barbecue sauces, just a bunch of stuff like that here. And on the top, I've just got some ramen that I keep just in case of an emergency, and that box that's got a bunch of candy in there from the holidays that we're hiding from the grandkids. More storage, and I've got like spices and sprinkles and stuff, and I'm kind of doing a category like Christmas and spring and stuff like that. I got beans and lots of cake mixes I didn't get to for the holidays, and just a bunch of mixes and different things for baking. I've got flours and sugars and baking mixes down here that I need to use up, and some rice. So that's all in there, and now I've got my canning pantry. If my freezer is where all my money is, the canning pantry is where I can make all my dinners just really quick. I can take some canned chicken, some canned ground beef, and just turn it into a dinner in about 15 minutes. Canned beef, canned chicken are two of my favorite things to have. I also canned a bunch of pork this year, so I can make a lot of meals out of that. So I'll show you how I use my canning pantry to make meals and get dinner on the table in about 15 minutes or so. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some inspiration to do your own pantry challenge. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I'll see y'all in week 2 of the January Pantry Challenge.